US President Donald Trump has dismissed a New York Times report that says that he paid just $750 in federal income taxes in the year 2016. That is the year that he won the US election. The New York Times had reported that it obtained tax return data of Donald Trump and companies within his business organization covering over 2 decades, but did not have information about his personal returns from 2018 or 2019. The report further suggests that the president of the world's biggest economy paid just $750 in federal income taxes in both 2016 and 2017. And Donald Trump, who is now seeking a re-election in November, has paid extremely little when it comes to income taxes in recent years. At least that's what the report alleges. According to the report, Trump paid no income taxes in 10 of the last 15 years, despite receiving $427.4 million through 2018 from his reality television program and other endorsement deals, along with licensing deals. According to the report, calling it fake news, the US president has refuted all the claims, saying that he in fact did pay his taxes.
It's totally fake news, made up, fake. We went through the same stories. You could have asked me the same questions 4 years ago. I had to litigate this and talk about it. Totally fake news. No, actually, I paid tax, and you'll see that as soon as my tax returns. It's under audit. They've been under audit for a long time.
Now, the NYT Times further reported that Trump claimed that $47.4 million in losses in 2018, despite claiming an income of at least $434.9 million in a financial disclosure that very year. Trump was able to minimize his tax bill by reporting heavy losses across his business empire. The report further revealed that Donald Trump is currently embroiled in a decade-long Internal Revenue Service audit over a $72.9 million tax refund that he claimed after declaring huge losses. If the IRS rules against him in the audit, he could have to pay more than $100 million, according to the NYT, without weighing in on the specific income tax findings. Now, a lawyer for the Trump organization has filed a statement to the Times saying that Trump had paid millions of dollars in personal taxes over the last decade. Departing from standard practice for presidential candidates, Trump has consistently refused to release his taxes, saying that they are under audit. Now, for more on these alarming claims made by the New York Times, we are now being joined by Jagriti Dave live from Washington, D.C. Thanks so much for joining us, Jagriti. This report outlines the extensive financial losses and years of tax avoidance that deal a huge blow as of now to the Trump administration. So tell us a little bit more about this and what it really means in the run-up to the elections.
Yes, this is an explosive report by the New York Times claiming that President Trump paid only $750 in the year 2016 and in the following year 2017 in federal income taxes. And it also says that out of the last 10 of the last 15 years that he has paid no income tax. And he says that's largely, the New York Times says that's largely because he's been reporting more losses than he has made money in that period. The New York Times looked at government tax return data when they made this report, and they say that there is more reporting to come on this. President Trump called this fake news at a White House press conference, and as you said there, a lawyer for the Trump organization saying that most of, if not all of the facts appear to be inaccurate, and claiming that President Trump has paid millions of dollars in personal taxes to the federal government. He didn't, in that statement to the New York Times, give specifics, and neither in the press conference did President Trump explain how much he had paid in taxes, just that he had paid taxes and that it would all come out once the IRS audit was through. But this is something that Democrats have been wanting from the president for a while now, and this report is really fodder for the Democrats and the president's critics who've been demanding that he release his tax returns. And this has been a subject of legal challenge as well. And all of this comes, of course, just days ahead of the first time that President Trump goes head-to-head with his Democratic rival Joe Biden in the first debate, the first presidential debate, which happens in Cleveland on Tuesday. Right, absolutely. Now, as you just pointed out, the US president, of course, has denied all these allegations outright. But what will now be the future course of action? Can we expect an investigation into the matter, especially since we have a little more than a month to go for the US elections? Well, as the New York Times is saying, there's going to be more reporting to come out from them on on these, perhaps these revelations and more, based on the tax return data that they have been looking at to get this information. And this, of course, is a problem, a challenge for President Trump, and has to overcome further allegations of this nature as we come closer and closer to the election. You've already got Democrats coming out criticizing you. You've had Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, one of a primary rival of President Trump, who they both attack each other on social media a lot. And Nancy Pelosi has called it a sign of disdain for America's working family. So it's a real challenge for President Trump to have to overcome these allegations, which he has, of course, denied.
Right, absolutely. Now, we'd just like to remind our viewers that we'll be bringing you all the updates on this very explosive story that's come from the United States. Stay with us, Jagrati, because we'd like to get your insights on another significant story coming from the United States. U.S. President Donald Trump has yet again demanded that Joe Biden take a drug test. Trump has called on Biden to take the test as two presidential candidates prepare for their first face-off debate in Cleveland on Tuesday. In a tweet, Trump has said that he will be strongly demanding that Biden take a drug test either before or after the presidential debates. Trump also said that he will agree to take a drug test with Biden. The U.S. president has continuously targeted Joe Biden and has questioned the Democrat nominee's mental state. Trump has said that Biden was grossly incompetent in Democrats' primary debates, calling him a disaster. The U.S. president further said that he wondered if Biden's performances were enhanced in some way. The Democrat presidential nominee, Joe Biden, has slammed these accusations and has called on the voters to observe the two presidential candidates. Donald Trump and Joe Biden will now face each other in the first of the 3 rounds of the presidential debates on Tuesday. And according to media reports, teams of both sides have finalized the conditions for the debate. Now, Jagrati Dave is still with us live from Washington, D.C. Jagrati, weigh in on this story as well. Donald Trump feels these controversial tax evasion allegations himself. And at the same time, he's also demanding that his rival Joe Biden take a drug test before their first debate, which is coming up soon. So he has time and again accused Biden of mental acuity, often calling him Sleepy Joe. So how will all this play out before the debate?
Well, this is a strategy, clearly, that President Trump has employed for a while now, trying to attack his rival Joe Biden for his mental capacity for being president and for engaging in these debates. He has claimed that his varied performances in the various debates is as a result of drugs, which is an unsubstantiated allegation. And he has claimed that he said that he is willing to take a drugs test and that Joe Biden should as well. But of course, there are some commentators who observe that this is a strategy could backfire, setting the bar so low for Joe Biden that he might outperform expectations on Tuesday's debate. Now, as a strategy for this as well, calling him Sleepy Joe, the president is known to give nicknames to his rivals. But it'll be interesting to see if, as a strategy, this works with voters, whether voters do believe this picture of Joe Biden that the president is portraying, or whether, if Joe Biden can step up in these debates, can perform in these debates, whether there's those low expectations that the president has put out, whether that changes people's views of Joe Biden, whether he appears differently in these debates as well. So it really depends on how much people believe that narrative that the president is putting forward.
Right. Just wrapping up our discussion here. So will the Biden campaign respond with its own allegations and demands now that the Trump campaign and the administration is at the center of this tax evasion controversy?
Well, clearly the New York Times report is going to feature heavily in Joe Biden's attacks on President Trump and the campaign's attacks on Donald Trump. So we're likely to see, and as I say, more revelations are expected, more reporting is expected from the New York Times. So there will be more information for the Biden campaign to use against their rivals, against the Trump campaign. So on Tuesday's debate, the moderators presenters have already set the topics, and they are of the topics of the day. So we can probably expect this New York Times report to feature. But the topics are the records of Donald Trump and Joe Biden, COVID-19, race and violence in American cities,
right.
Election itself, the viability of the election, etc. So those are the sorts of issues that are being discussed, are going to be points of debate. There are 15 minutes for each topic. You know, there's so much to talk about. All these points are hot button points, and yet there is more with this New York Times report that broke just a few hours ago.
Right. Jagrati, thank you so much for joining us and for all your insights on these two stories. We, of course, will be tracking the debate closely and bringing you all the updates.